Zig Ziglar famously said, "Money isn't everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen." Yep, it's true. Nothing kills a business faster than a lack of oxygen, aka money. Your quilt shop is a business and it needs some money. Why? There are several reasons, but here are a few to start out. First, almost no business problem can't be solved with more money as long as you can manage it wisely. This is handy because almost every business I know is full of problems. Money helps you solve a vast majority of problems that make a quilt shop stressful and very frustrating. Second, when you've taken care of yourself, you have a chance to help others. If you didn't go into business to make money, you're lying to yourself or you have a hobby. And I hope that you're ready to pay those taxes on your hobby business because all those deductions aren't going to be allowed for very long. And before you start on about delivering value or changing the world and so on, ask yourself how much of that you can do if you're broke. How many people can you actually help? When you board a plane and the airline attendants are going through their safety procedures, they'll inevitably say something like this. Should the cabin experience a sudden pressure loss, oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and pull the tabs to tighten. If you're traveling with children or someone who requires assistance, make sure that your own mask is on before helping others. Did you catch that? Why put on your own mask before helping someone else? Because if you're slumped over in your seat suffering from a lack of oxygen, you can't help anyone else. And even worse, we're now going to have to deploy scarce resources to come and help you. Otherwise, you'll be dead soon. If you started a business, your goal should be to get more money so you can actually fulfill your ultimate purpose behind your quilt shop. You need to know what to do. You need to stop wasting your time and money on marketing activities if you don't have a marketing plan. My name is Jacob Curtis. I'm a CPA and certified profit first professional, and I'm a business coach. I started Curtis Accounting Solutions to remove the stress of doing the bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes off of quilt shop owners and to provide practical business advice to help quilt shops piece together financial freedom. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode, so please leave a comment below and remember to like, share, and subscribe. The statistics vary on exactly what percentages of businesses fail within the first 5 years, but I've never seen it below 50%, so being optimistic, you have a 50-50 chance of surviving at least 5 years after opening. But this does not account for all the businesses that are barely keeping their heads above water, just scraping by month after month. Have you ever wondered why most small businesses plateau after a mediocre level? At one end of the spectrum, there's Pete, the plumber who works 16-hour days, including weekends, and never takes a vacation while barely making enough to keep his head above water. At the other end of the spectrum, there's Joe, who runs a plumbing company with 20 different plumbers working for him. It seems like his primary business activity is counting his fat stacks of cash that just keep rolling in. It's very common for small businesses to never grow past the point at which they generate enough cash for the owners to make a modest living, if they even get to that point. And then no matter how hard they try, they don't get to the next level, and it can be very frustrating. They get disillusioned or accept their fate that they've just created a low-paying job for themselves. In fact, the reality is that many business owners would probably be better off just finding a job in their industry. They would have less stress, work fewer hours, and enjoy vacations. On the other hand, few business owners seem to have it all figured out. They work reasonable hours, have less stress, and go on amazing vacations, all while enjoying fantastic cash flow and growth. Most would blame the industry, and it's true, some industries die and change as culture and technology change. However, the industry is rarely to blame. After all, others in the industry are doing very well. So the obvious question is, what are they doing differently? Many small business owners fall into the trap described in Michael Gerber's classical ebook, E-Myth Revisited, and quilt shops especially. They are what he calls a technician. For example, a plumber, a hairdresser, dentist, accountant, quilter, and so on. And they are really good at what they do. They have what Gerber then calls an entrepreneurial seizure, and they start to think to themselves, why should I work for this idiot boss of mine? I'm really good at what I do. I'll start my own business. This is one of the major mistakes most small business owners make. They go from working for an idiot boss to becoming an idiot boss. Here's the key point. Just because you're good at some technical thing that you do doesn't mean that you're good at the business of what you do. So going back to our example, a good plumber is not necessarily the best person to run a plumbing company. An accountant isn't necessarily the best person to run an accounting firm. A quilter is not necessarily the best person to run a quilt shop. This is a vitally important distinction to note, and it's a key reason that most small businesses fail. The owner may have excellent technical skills, but lacks the business skills. Now, this isn't meant to discourage you from starting a business. I really want you to do that. However, you must resolve to become good at the business of what you do, not just the technical aspect of the thing that you do. Quilt Shop can be an amazing vehicle for achieving financial freedom and personal fulfillment, but only for those who understand and master this vital distinction and figure out what they need to do to run a successful business. If you're a good creator, designer, or quilter, but feel like you could benefit from some help on the business side, then you're in the right place at the right time. The whole point of what I do is to take you from confusion to clarity, so you know exactly what to do and how to piece together financial freedom. Professionals have plans. Look at all the professionals where the stakes are high, and you'll see a well thought out plan being followed. Professionals never wing it. Doctors follow a treatment plan, airline pilots follow a flight plan, soldiers follow a military operation plan. While no one can guarantee your success, having a plan drastically improves your chances of success. Just like you wouldn't be on a plane where the pilot didn't bother to follow a flight plan, you don't want you and your family relying on a quilt shop without a plan. It's more than just your ego on the line. It's time to go pro and create a plan. If you want success, you need to start paying attention to and expanding the things that are making a big impact. There are various areas in the business where you could start looking to make an impact, from negotiation skills to operations. But by far, the biggest impacting activity in any business is marketing. If you get just 10% better at marketing, it can have an exponential or multiplying effect on your bottom line. So what is marketing? I think Alan Dibb said it best in his book, The One-Page Marketing Plan. He said, "Here's the simplest, most jargon-free definition of marketing you're likely to come across. If the circus is coming to town and you paint a sign saying circus coming to the showgrounds on Saturday, that's advertising. If you put a sign on the back of an elephant and walk into town, that's promotion. If that elephant walks through the mayor's flower bed and the local newspaper writes a story about that, that's publicity. And if you get the mayor to laugh about it, that's public relations. If the town's citizens go to the circus, you show them the many different entertainment booths, explain how much fun they'll have spending money at your booths, answer their questions, and ultimately they spend a lot of money at the circus, that's sales. And if you plan the whole thing, that's marketing." Yep, it's as simple as that. Marketing is the strategy you use for getting your ideal target market to know you, like you, and trust you enough to become a customer. All the stuff you usually associate with marketing is tactics. I really love that definition. Now, it's important to understand the fundamentals of marketing have not changed. What has changed is the technology and how we apply those fundamentals. The tactics have changed, but not the strategy. Strategy is the big picture planning you do prior to tactics, prior to doing any marketing activities. If you were building a house, you wouldn't just order a bunch of wood and brick and construction supplies and start building, would you? No, you would review the blueprints with an architect and hire a general contractor to create a building plan. That is strategy. Once you have that plan or strategy in place, you would then execute the plan. You'd hire your excavators, cement workers, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, painters, bricklayers, and everybody else. That's tactics. Strategy without those tactics leads to paralysis by analysis. And tactics without strategy leads to shiny object syndrome. You need both strategy and tactics, but you create a strategy first so you know what tactics to use. If you think having a superior product is all it's going to take, you're wrong. Throughout history, superior products have lost to better marketed products. A few examples include Betamax, the Newton, and Laserdisc. Good and even great products are simply not enough. Marketing must be one of the major activities if you're to have a successful quilt shop. However, you cannot copy the big stores for two major reasons. First, you don't have the budget unless you have millions of dollars to spend on marketing. Second, you don't have the same marketing priorities. Large companies must please a board of directors and shareholders, satisfy their bosses' biases and existing customers' preconceptions, win awards for creativity, and then make a profit. But your only priority as a small business owner is to make a profit so you can help even more people. Large company marketing strategies are complex and often cover multiple years. They are expensive and have multiple objectives and hundreds of people at their disposal to execute that strategy. However, an effective marketing strategy for a small business is trackable, measurable, uses compelling headlines and sales copy, targets specific audiences, makes a specific offer, demands a response, includes multi-step short-term follow-up, and incorporates maintenance follow-up of unconverted leads. I know that sounds like a lot, but it all fits on just one single page. The one-page marketing plan is designed to get you results. As a curator of proven concepts and ideas, I'll share with you over the next few weeks the 9 elements of an effective one-page marketing plan so you know what tactics to use and aren't wasting your time and money. As a small business owner myself, I'll walk you through the questions and steps I use to ensure I have a sound marketing plan and know how to execute that plan with confidence. But tell me, what do you think is the first element of a marketing plan? Tell me in the comments below or email me at jacob@curtisaccountingsolutions.com, and very soon you'll find out if you're correct. And remember to follow me at Curtis Accounting Solutions on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.